Good morning, COT data video for the week beginning the 5th of February 2024. Now we have to remember, this doesn't take into account the NFP data that we had. This is from Tuesday. If you remember, on Friday we had an absolutely humongous NFP beat, and that sent the dollar a lot higher, basically. So what I think is going to happen this time next week when we look at the COT data is that this is going to be ticking down and this will be ticking up, okay? But as it stands, it did decline, but I think we're going to see further declines in the euro. Alright, so you have to remember this data is delayed from Tuesday, okay? It's just a little caveat. And this is the net non-com, so this is the banks and institutions. So what they do is very telling, and it gives us a good direction, idea about direction. Let's look at yen. Yen is negative, and it's slightly more negative than it was, so minus 56 to minus 70,000. So it did look like it was surging, and it sort of like went sideways and dumped a bit. So nothing there. There's no signal that we can have. There's no crossover. For example, we had an EJ buy back here, right? There's no crossover, so there's nothing to be too concerned with. Aussie negative, and it's going alongside the yen, which is really strange. You see how it's correlated now? It was in descent, then it started to rally as well. So it moved with the yen on its downward trajectory, then it's moved up, and then it's starting to move down again. So it's correlating down, up, and down. So that's really, really weird. Okay, so be careful of yen, I think. Maybe be careful with Aussie as well. See, this would be normal. See how there's like a divergence, because the Aussie is risky and the yen is supposed to be a safe haven in speech marks. So that deviation, that divergence would be normal. This moving in parallel I would say would be abnormal. So you've got to be careful. I think yen is the one that's out of bonk, but I'm not sure. If we go risk off, this selling of the Aussie would make sense. Now we had the BOE, and this is possibly why there's a little bit of confusion this week, and the GU was quite stable. We did fall on Friday immediately after NFP, but all week it has been quite strong, and that's possibly a reason for it, is that the non-coms they're quite long on the pound. We crossed over the zero line, and they've added 30,000 to 34,000, so they've added 4,000 contracts long. Of course, if we have a stronger dollar theme because of the NFP, then this might be like a temporary top. So we have to be careful. I've got a feeling that this dollar is going to tick higher quite strongly this time next week. Okay, so got to be careful. And if you remember, we had a Dixie long as well in Discord. So if you did follow that, you would have made some really nice profits. CAD surged. And looks like we're trying to go above zero. Oh, we are above zero. Oh no, so that's the dollar index, 372. Oh, we're just slightly negative. So possibly next week we might have a dollar CAD trade. Do note that it got rejected though. We did have a crossover, then a sudden rejection. So it might happen again, where the dollar would be a favoured long as opposed to CAD. So we've got to wait for the crossover, because we saw a rejection there. So don't go selling dollar CAD just because of that. You want to wait for the crossover and then some continuation. Okay, CAD off. Gold's going to be of note. So we had a big decline. Remember I said last week we had like some kind of triple top. We made like a double top. You know, you could probably argue we had like some resistance here, and then we had some more resistance here, so this should be kind of like expected because of that. Where could we possibly come to? We could possibly come down to here, 138. We are 147. So yeah, it makes sense that we might come down to 2000 ish on the spot, on gold spot. 2000 probably be, that would be okay. That would coincide with that support. Breaking that support, then we could probably come to 1950, which would be around here. So I have to wait and see, but there was some resistance here. Okay, so that's just of note. Okay, gold off, Kiwi on. Sideways, looks like we might get the crossover, but note, like with CAD, we had a rejection and then another rejection, possibly a third one, which would be really of note. So if we have like a heavy rejection here, NU could be a good sell, because you know we had a strong case there and there. It just doesn't want to, the banks, they don't want to buy the New Zealand dollar over the USD, probably because they're thinking of safe haven reasons. Perhaps they're holding some dollars USD in case we go risk off, so that's probably a reason for that. Very interesting. I think that will get rejected, and then Kiwi off, and then Swiss franc on, and sideways, and that's it. So I'll wrap up the video now, and I'm going to look at the Aussie USD now in Telegram. So be sure to check your Telegram if you're interested in the Aussie USD analysis. I wholeheartedly recommend fxsi.com and their indicators for MetaTrader 4 and 5. It's a 7-day free trial, so do have a look. There's no credit card required. You might be lacking in some sentiment awareness, analysis, and it does complement technical and fundamentals very well. Especially if you're very technical, you could be missing out on some sentiment, or if you're particularly fundamental, you could be missing out on some sentiment. This is like a sweet zone. It complements both, and it gives you a very strong bias about direction as well. So technicals are great for direction, fundamentals are great for direction, but the sentiment sits in between. Okay, and so perhaps if you're missing out on some sentiment awareness, these are the best indicators in existence in the world for that. And then you can have a look at this. You've got a 7-day free trial, and you've got your order book, and you've got your indicators, including the ratios, which are amazing. Just look at my videos on my YouTube channel and you can see how powerful the ratios are. And you can have a look. Just take your time. You've got 7 days to trial them, and if you don't like them, then that's fair enough. You don't have to renew, but we do have a code if you want to, and it's just the QuasiDB code, and it gives you a 10% discount, and that's it. So have a look, see what you think, and like I said, it's a 7-day trial, so you don't have to renew, but I think you'll probably find you will renew afterwards, because the order book and the ratios and the stop loss clusters as well are amazing. The stop loss clusters are great because you know where to target. Okay, so that's where you take profit, where people get stopped out. Okay, and that's it. So just a quick plug for the fxsi.com, and enjoy your day.